wish there were some real men around here, you know?
Oh, you read my mind, girlfriend. I would kill for a real man. Oh, hi, Jonathan.
They say, oh my God, see the way you shine. Take your hand, my ear, and place them both in mine. You got me when I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Oh, I see you every time. And oh, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I'm dead. You dance just one more time. Why they dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey, hey. And when you've done, I'll make you do it all again. I said,
How much time? How much time did that guy spend? How much pain and suffering has he gone through?
Dude, I swear he tries it, or he does it with every new popular hit single that comes out, and it is gold every single time. He does it with different celebrities, but Trump is by far the most popular. Because he just
Of course he is.
fits the scene for every single one. And he does it with songs you don't think are even possible to find the lyrics for. But he does.
Do you think there's like an algorithm we don't know about, like a program that can find these for you, and you just insert the audio clips and you go to sleep, and when you wake up, it went through all the material you gave it?
All I know is the best magicians never reveal their secrets. That said, that put a smile on my face. Hopefully it put a smile on yours and everybody else watching. Ladies and gentlemen and all genders in between, welcome to the Salt Grinder, where respect is a suggestion and it is already cold.
And it's the holidays. And
It is.
Holidays for us means the end of the course. I assume it's the same for you guys, even but better.
Yes, it's the end of the semester, end of or it's the start of the graduation ceremonies typically, and the start of it is freezing, man. My nipples are actually might need this second sun in my face. All right.
Speaking of second
I always
sun,
think it's too bright because I go blind 5 minutes into the stream and my eyes just have to dilate and get used to it. But
how unprofessional of me.
yes, only the best here at the Salt Grinder.
Now, I have to specify something. It's gonna be a few days, 10 more days before YouTube comes to an end. You know, climate change catches up to YouTube, right? 10 days left. And I am horrified and scared for one reason. I clicked on a song, and for some reason it was labeled child-friendly. And so I couldn't add it to the playlist.
Like your watch later or your favorites?
Yeah, precisely. And I got genuinely terrified because YouTube has been bad, but it never was bad to the point where it made me rage quit the app. That was the first time.
So I remember my first rage was when they introduced when the YouTube Red, or when I tried to do that, when YouTube came out with that update where they changed the logo and everything, and then everyone thought that this was the update where you'd be able to log out of the app or just back out of it, and you'd be able to listen to a video while looking at another app. And they didn't do that. Except they added an option where if you have YouTube Red, you can exclusively get that feature. And I almost threw my phone at the wall.
Yep. Like
I don't know how much more. I don't think they know how much more people would appreciate the app if they made that a basic standard feature. And in truth, I believe eventually they will. But in the meantime, they're really pushing this YouTube Red shit. I don't get it because I think like all the YouTube Red was kind of relevant for the first month because they had like PewDiePie and Markiplier making all their own shows, and then these big YouTubers, and then they found out that they're not talented outside of the scope of free content. So
No, they can't deal with professionals. No, because like, okay, celebrities have lived their lives, right? On the camera, they know what to say, how to act, how to feel professional, even if they're not. You know, if you have those actors who feel casual, you know, even that is a professional act, right? Then you go to this bloody fucking YouTuber from Sweden, Felix, right?
Yeah,
and
way too many X's and those letters with the 2 dots on top.
And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Imagine Felix, PewDiePie in a film set, or what's their name? Who else did they put them? There was Markiplier, there was Game Theory. You know, all the weirdos of the fucking platform. Half of them antisocial, the other half just doesn't know how to talk, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? And nobody wanted to pay for it. That was the more important part. It wasn't an enticing enough offer to see PewDiePie's show when I can just click on his free content.
Let me just get this out there for any YouTuber or just thinking of making like an exclusive show. I'm not saying you shouldn't make the jump to television or music. That's a common trend too, right? They try to go for their music career. You know, people who started out making vlog videos and shitty album covers in their bedrooms are all of a sudden, you know, buying every program in the world to try to auto-tune their voice to a level to where it just doesn't work, all right?
They can be singers, yeah.
You have to know your limitations, and sometimes like it's good to have a good scope of things to work on, but there are times when you need to know that this is not your niche. And specifically, YouTube needs to understand that the reason people come to YouTube is for free content. They come for free, short, cheap, entertaining content. That's the reason I show up. And if I show up and all of a sudden I'm getting 3 ads per videos, which is beginning to happen, by the way. They introduced 1 ad. A lot of people didn't really have a problem with it. I've seen a video with 3 ads before.
Okay, I've seen 2.
However, I think that I screwed up because I like refreshed at the wrong time or something, and like it updated and it kind of tripped out. But I believe what I saw. You know, 3. It said 1 of 3 ads to promote, and they were all 5 seconds. But the point is, like,
no, that's the point.
Yeah, that like. Anyhow, that's the reason people are willing to show up. That's as much as people are willing to tolerate. And as soon as you click on a YouTube video and you get a pop-up for this video is only exclusive to YouTube Red users. Here you get a 30-second preview, and then you have to purchase YouTube Red. No. That's not what people want. Believe me, that's not why I show up to your website. I show up because I'm bored while taking a shit and I need to watch something.
Before I say anything, Hassan, we're gonna do it solo today. You're free to talk about the impeachment situation in the comment section. Thank you for your understanding.
Yes, no better place to talk about impeachment than in the comment section of. You can really get all your thoughts out there.
What developed? I haven't been keeping up with impeachment this week. What happened? What died? Who died?
Trump got impeached.
He did.
He got impeached and by the House of Representatives, and now we await for the House of Representatives to confirm sending it to the Senate, where it will be voted on in a trial. And if that passes, then there's one more step of legislation, and then he officially gets impeached.
And is there a prediction that would happen, or?
There was a prediction that it was going to pass in the House of Representatives, which is dominated by the Democratic Party. And then once it reaches the Senate, it's going to die because the Senate is primarily ruled by the Republican Party. especially considering that the Speaker of the House, the guy who looks like a turtle, Mitch McConnell, he has confirmed that he is not going to be observing this, or rather receiving it on a bipartisan, impartial basis. Rather, he is going to do everything in his power, and his colleagues are, to make sure that they support Trump and that they don't look at this on a impartial basis, which, even if he wouldn't have admitted that publicly, everyone would have known that that's what he's going for. So it really shouldn't surprise anybody. But of course, it's perfect headline bait. And that's what a lot of the news has been busy this week. That's what everyone's running with. Impeachment this, impeachment that. It's a talking point. And we'll see how things develop. However, the Democrats are delaying pushing this to the Senate because I believe Nancy Pelosi wants to make sure that her and the Republicans, or her and the Senate, are all on the same page about what the standards, the regulations of the trial are going to be. So both sides want it to be fair.
So according to Hassan here, tell me if this is true. Is this true?
If the House passes impeachment and the Senate doesn't, it technically voids his first term. He's the third. See, this is debate. I mean, technically, okay, and technically, but it's very debatable as far as like the interpretation of what that means. He doesn't officially get impeached, but he is technically, or he doesn't get thrown out of office, yes, but he is technically the third president in U.S. history to face impeachment, not to face it, to rather be impeached. Will he still be able to run for re-election? Yes. Will he still likely win depending on the poll numbers at the moment? Yes. Does everyone involved in this process, including the American people, think it's stupid? Yes.
So let me get this straight. So the Democrats pushed for impeachment, and Trump is technically impeached, but nothing happens. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, impeachment. Think of impeachment as like a two-part process, and the Senate is what matters most, because the Senate, you need 66% of the vote. You need 2/3 of the vote against you in order for you to be officially thrown out of office.
What the fuck is wrong with this? What the fuck is wrong with the Democrats? They're not going to get 66% majority on this impeachment. Definitely, right?
Well, they're always they're according to Nancy, she is doing the politically and morally correct thing by impeaching him, and at this point she all she can do is send it to the Senate, and then what happens. This was what people were worried about, though. However, remember when there was the belief that the Republicans during the last election, the 2-year election cycle, were going to retain the House of Representatives, but instead the Democrats took it. And so a lot of people like myself said, well, this is very interesting now, because now we have the dynamic of what I like to call nothing gets done procedures, whereas you have one party that controls one sector of government, and then the other party controls the other sector of government, and then you have the president. So technically you have the Republicans controlling 2 sectors of government, and that's fine, but you still need all 3 basically to get anything done. And that's why you hear a lot of the terms of checks and balances. They keep each other in check, yada, yada, yada.
Not if one of the parties are a bunch of kids, which is what the Democrats are right now.
The Democrats, I will say this: Nancy Pelosi, she looks and acts like a child occasionally, but she's been in this game a long time. She knows exactly what she's doing, and the reason why she's postponing sending this to the Senate, because the Senate wants it immediately. All right, you impeach Trump, send it to us, we'll vote on it immediately. Nancy does not want to send it to the Senate, in theory, for multiple reasons. The 2 primary ones being, one, she wants to make sure that there's a fair trial, whatever that means, depending on who you ask. And the longer she waits, the closer and further it gets into the election year cycle. And then the closer you have the election and that trial taking place closer to the election, maybe that leaves a bad taste in somebody's mouth while they're thinking of Trump while in the voting booth. It's also worth noting that Trump may have to give a State of the Union with his trial going on in the background. And maybe that's what she's looking for as well, right? Trying to make him look bad on a national stage.
Will it, though?
Oh, it definitely will. You can't. The thing with Trump is his approval ratings have gone up and gone down. They have staggered significantly. And just like, is milk good or bad this week? You know, that debate. Is Trump good or bad this week? Depends on the poll, depends who you ask. I'd say this week has been a down week for him. You know, he did get impeached. He does have the entire news cycle against him. You know, you even got Fox and One American kind of like, all right, he got impeached. Like, how do we damage control this? Like, the motherfucker got impeached. Now it's just a matter of letting it wait out, let people kind of forget, to let it marinate. And then once it gets brought up again, all right, we cross that bridge when we get there. But politics is fascinating in this regard.
No, it's ridiculous. That's what it is.
Oh, we have different names for it. That's fine. I actually think this is what I enjoy in politics personally. It's not the I will do everything in my power to defend the Constitution of the United States. No, it's all right. It's me imagining that there's a bunch of Democrats like sitting in a room in a corner, in a dark corner, just, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to impeach him, but we don't want the vote to happen immediately because we want to try to make him look bad in a prolonged state of time. And then the guy next to him is like, why the fuck are you whispering? We're the only ones in this room. And then the Republicans are like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We want this immediately so that we can get it out of the way. And there's a guy on the other side of the room. Well, what if the Democrats prolong it? Good thinking, Charles. We got to think of a plan for that. It's basically, how do we keep this, for the Democrats, is how do we keep this thing that we created here longer versus how do we get that thing that they created here faster? And there's a lot of people who know a lot of loopholes in the system. The founding fathers were very intelligent in how they created the American Constitution, how they created how this country was going to function. Yes, but even they could not have foreseen every single loophole, every conceivable possibility, because people get very creative in this industry. And I assume Hassan has been commenting, so I will now refer back to the comment section. Oh, yes. Knew it.
No, here's the thing. Here's why I don't think this will work. Okay? A week ago, the British election, the general election, happened. And the results came in. And in Great Britain, there's about 600 seats in Parliament. And the party with the most votes gets to become the government, basically, and the rest become the opposition. At least that's how I understand it. Traditionally, it's dominated by two parties, just like US politics. You have the Conservatives and you have Labour, right? Usually, Conservatives win and Labour are the opposition, for the most part. And then the independent members of Parliament, they just kind of do their thing. Corbyn's strategy, which is the main guy for Labour, his strategy was, let's defame Johnson. Let's make him, which is their Donald Trump, the current prime minister of the Conservatives. Let's make him look bad by making him not fulfill his fucking promises, and pushing him towards an extension because Johnson wanted it done as quickly as possible, and he promised that he'd rather die than to extend, right? So he forced him to extend, and then Johnson responded by a general election. And Corbyn's strategy was, now that we defamed him and made him make something, like he made the campaign promise and he failed it, right? Now we get to come to the general election and we're able to win the bloody thing. Guess what happened? Labour lost 50 fucking seats to the Conservatives.
Yeah, they lost everything. It was
Corbyn
wipeout.
was, in a look of dismay. It's like, how did this happen? I don't know how this happened. And Johnson showed up and it's like, people lent us their vote so we can get Brexit done. Meaning he knows that a lot of Labour voters, traditionally Labour voters, decided to give the Conservatives their vote this time because all what Labour was doing this entire time was stop anything from happening, wasting their tax dollars on trying to prolong the process so they get to do it. So now the UK Parliament is a Conservative-dominated Parliament. I think this will repeat in the United States. Oh, Trump got impeached. If he doesn't get impeached a second time, if they don't go all the way in and he can't do anything anymore, I'm afraid it's over for them. For a very long time. Because the average voter sees when somebody's being a bit too childish.
You'd be surprised, actually. I do feel like some people are very much enjoying this, though. I enjoy what I call the reality show part of it. I enjoy the mind games that go into the game of politics, because traditional politics, it just gets old every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yes, there's lying, there's cheating, but what's at the heart of that lying and cheating? Who are the characters? That, right? Like people who say, am I more interested in a story-driven plot or a character-driven plot? Most people say character-driven plot because they can relate to those. They can relate to the tactics. They can relate to the personality traits, the reasons people do things. Right? It's the same sort of ordeal that I envision politics with and that I interpret politics with. Right. That said, I do feel like some people care too much about what is happening right now. And perhaps this is my mistake for checking into Twitter every day. But there's always a new hashtag. There's always a new scandal. There's always people just making stuff up as to why to be outraged, right? Politics or otherwise. And there's always the people that have to, when people tweet in parts? So it's like parentheses, 1/5, indicating 1 out of 5, right? Like the first thing.
I hate those.
They have written an essay. Think about this. They have written an essay on a Google Doc, checked the word count, and decided, it's 120 characters per tweet. That means, and they do the math, and then they're like, all right.
No, they have a calculator do the math for them. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah. And they decide they're going to make parts. And my favorite part is when people screw up, they can't even do simple math properly because they're like, and part 6 afterwards, right? Like, I forgot to mention this part. Yeah. And then that's what they do. They add these parts and they add their opinions through like their interpretation of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And I get lost in those rabbit holes sometimes because they are entertaining, truth be told. And
they are distracting. I don't know about entertaining.
You can tell, it's entertaining for me. You can tell some people invest way too much time and energy in something that has nothing to do with them. But Lewi, it's technically their country, technically their tax dollars. It's a figure of speech. They have every right, obviously, to know what's going on. The question is, of all the platforms to let people know what's going on, why would you go to Twitter, right? It's just going to be a bunch of like-minded idiots like you that are either going to
retweet your shit,
retweet you, or like the dumbasses that have different opinions of you, and they're just going to argue you. And that's a way to have a discussion. But what is it with Twitter and people thinking they can have critical conversations on there? You think that theory would have died years ago with the death of grammar?
I think it's a I think it's a bunch of people who on either end of the spectrum. If you tweet, it was supposed to be you update, you give your condolences to somebody who lost a family, some basic stuff, right? And we comment on it on the Twitter comment section, and that'll be that. but it became a plethora of people thinking they're important because they get 5 retweets. And if they get 3,000, ooh, now we became the big boys, right? It's much like YouTube when you make a viral video, you know? Suddenly you feel like you can give people tips on how to get viral videos. No, you can't. Predicting
do it
the
religiously for years, yeah. Then come talk to me.
Do it religiously, find the big thing and do a parody of it. That usually gives you views. Like I'm the bad guy, that bald guy who made the parody song of what's
Billie
her
Eilish's
name? The
bad guy.
Yeah, Billie Eilish. Did you watch that? It's fucking brilliant.
He just sits there with like
it's
a wig. Yeah.
He hits a couch and it's beautiful. He snaps, but out of sync. It's beautiful.
That is one of the catchiest songs of 2019. It's also one of the most overplayed and annoying songs of 2019. But you know what else is annoying? Picking your first car. And boy, I have news for you.
I was getting to that. Yes.
Any advice?
Nice segue, Lewi. Nice segue. We segued beautifully into that one.
I sounded like an advertiser. Like, you know what else is the blah 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 blah. This right here, this product for $19.95, special order today. Now you can't special order a car for $19.95. I wish. I will say this though: if you are getting a first car, typically the tradition is get a used car. Get a nice looking used car. My car is used. I've had it since I was 16. It has treated me well. It had less than 70,000 miles on it. It is a Saab 2003 Saab Aero 9.5. It's an old luxury car, but it runs beautifully. I just had to do some work on it, but the point is it was in a good spot. It didn't give me any trouble because it was a nice, well-furnished first car, used car. But it's used, so you're not going to have to pay 3 times what it's worth.
Yeah.
And that's my advice, is get something that you feel comfortable in. Test drive it always test drive it. Unless you're confident, like if it's a Honda or a Toyota, you know you're going to be able to find parts for it. You know you're going to be able to get used to the wheel and the feel of the car relatively easily. But if you're looking for like a Mazda, which I do not recommend, the whole dynamics of that car internally are upside down. Seriously, you will give a mechanic a headache and end up paying a lot more for a lot of expensive or luxury foreign cars. But I especially do not recommend Mazda. But let's say you go for a Mazda, make sure you ask every question in the book at the dealership. Because sometimes you'll have to get them at like a Beamer dealership and they don't know entirely. So make sure you go on Carfax or Carfax, whatever it's called, get all the info. My dad made me do this when I was 16 and it was stressful, but it paid off. Just get a car that you're comfortable with, but don't go all out if it's your first car. There's no excuse to.
Also, you may break it. That was going to be why I say get the used one.
Yeah, it's your first car. Yes, I've had friends they've
wrecked multiple fancy cars. Yes, we all went through that.
I think my friend's over this, and I think he's over me telling the story, so I'm going to tell it. One of my friends, when he got his car, was a brand new Lexus. His grandmother got it for him. So that's Toyota's luxury brand, right? And his very first year driving, he pulled into a Taco Bell. And as he was pulling into the drive-thru of said Taco Bell, he saw a friend that he knew walking into the actual store, the actual restaurant. And so he decided he wasn't just going to keep going and go all the way around. He was going to back up, or try to, out of the drive-thru. And you know how there's always a curve. And he ended up, long story short, knocking over the Taco Bell drive-thru sign. And he heavily damaged, a lot more than he should have, the rear light of the rear view light of the Lexus, of a brand new $40,000 car that his grandparents got him. And if that wasn't bad enough, that same week, as he's pulling into the garage, his dad does woodworking, and as he was pulling in to the garage, he scrapes the entire right side of his brand new Lexus to the point where it made like a screeching sound. We've all heard it. You know what sound I'm talking about, where like a car just scrapes across something. And his dad came out and screamed because it's a brand new Lexus. So that is a reason to get a first car or a used first car. Unless you're my friend and then his grandparents love him so much that they got him a brand new Lexus the very next month, but his parents actually did not let him drive it, which is, I think, hilarious.
Yeah. No,
teachable moments. There's a lot of life is a teachable moment when you're 16. I mean, that's a very teachable year.
I mean, I did go through it. My car is still scraped from the time I did it. I didn't do it that bad. Like, there was a mall and there was a turn to go to the basement section of the parking, and the turn is super tight. And I was a month in, so this was weird. So the turn was so bad that I ended up hitting one of the walls. And actually, like a couple of months later, I see them installing like a pad there, because more than one car did this, right? So once I hit that, I came up and asked my brother or whoever, I don't remember who, like, how do I turn these turns? You're gonna drive over there and you're gonna show me how you did it. And apparently you just slowed down. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's another thing. When you're learning to drive and you know, it's amazing how easily how people overlook something so easily, and it's just slow down. Like you honestly do not need to go that fast. There's another person I knew. This one wasn't a friend. This was someone I knew. He burst. I can't even say this without laughing, bro. There was a yogurt time, and there was a curb, and he was leaving the store, and he was planning on reversing, but he actually had the car in drive instead. So he was looking back, but the car was still in drive instead of reverse. And I don't know how he floored it this hard, but he stomped on the gas pedal and did not go backwards. Inevitably, he went the other way and actually knocked a hole in a yogurt time, which just recently got patched last year in my town. Keep in mind, this accident happened when I was 16. Not by me, by a person I knew. My biggest accident was it's not even an accident, my biggest kerfuffle was I was pulling out of my driveway, and my car was in the garage, and I was 16 and I was doing it too fast, stupid kid mistake, and I scraped the mirror off the side of my car, the right mirror. The good news about Saab is that their mirrors are very adjustable to the point where you can't really knock them off.
No, they just flip aside down.
They flip, but it's even easier with Saab. They don't just flip. It's like it's almost like magnetic, like they automatically just return back to. Yeah, like it's like one of those rubber things where it's like if you pull it really far one side, it's like boom, 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 right? It just comes back. So that was the neat thing about Saab, but I still had scrapes on the frame of the mirror.
Yeah, of course.
That being said, Hassan, I think a Civic or a Camry, two most generic cars, two of the safest cars.
Very reliable.
Very reliable, very easy to drive, very easy to learn, they're cars I would recommend. Yeah.
Yeah, like especially the Toyota Camry, if you're looking Japanese, as I see in the comment section, it's a cheap and a very or not cheap, affordable. It's very different. That's very different, right? It's an affordable, safe, powerful car, and you can actually purchase it new and not feel too bad when it gets fucking wrecked,
Or if you want to be a little bit more adventurous, and I know a lot of people like to get cool looking cars naturally, right? Honda makes a lot of different Civic models that are a lot more sporty, and you can find them used. And the Honda Civic 2017, I believe, the 2-wheel drive, that's a sexy car. That's a sexy, generic car if I've ever seen one. It looks like a sports car that is just a little bit bulkier than the average.
I have to say this about fucking cars in Kuwait. Usually, people who are like our age, what they go for is like super fancy cars, right? They'd go into debt just to get one super fancy car, and they drive it all around. And honestly, I never got this because the question comes: in our place, your maximum speed limit is 120 kilometers per hour, or yeah, that's the speed per hour, and I assume that's 70 or 80 miles per hour for you guys, something within that range, right?
That's about as fast as people will go. Yeah.
Now, if you buy a super powerful car in Germany, they have a lane with free speed, so you can drive as fast as you want in that particular lane. So it's understandable if you get a super fast car because you go there and you hit the pedal so fucking hard, you just fucking kill the road. We don't have that in Kuwait. The best you can do is speed between two cameras, right? Because we have speed cameras there, not like police officers ambushing.
You guys just have those automatic cameras that catch you, and then they'll send you a fine. That's tough, man. We have those on our bridges. The Golden Gate Bridge has that. That's brutal.
We have that all around our country. Because people were just didn't care. Of course, we know how to abuse it. We can simply just
no. You don't reveal how you abuse
dude. You speed up and then you slow down. Like, they can't do anything about that unless they put camera to camera speed and calculate time, which they've tried doing. It just doesn't work.
No, you speed up and then slow down.
Tremendous, right?
That's a thing? Like Subaru? That's a thing? Subaru is interesting. Subaru's they're a safe brand. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what they've been pushing the past decade, is that we are the future of safety in driving. I would argue Toyota tries to do that as well. But Subaru's all right. I don't know much about Subaru. I don't know about their internals at all. I know, and I've seen it. I've worked on the most Japanese cars and American cars, my Saab, obviously, and some Volkswagens and Jettas and what have you. And Mercedes, I've worked on those, and some Beamers. I'd be willing to bet Subaru probably has something similar to Mazda. So beware. Just make sure you know all the right questions to ask.
So Hassan here is asking for a good price range for his first car, but I don't know the prices in the US, so I can't really help you with that. Here you can get a good, decent car for like $1,000, $1,000 if you so wish.
Yeah, look,
you're gonna have to work on it
yeah, look, there's people here that are selling cars for $700. And it's not because they're so bad either. It's because they just want to get rid of it. Yeah. And it's not a bad car. Yeah. I'll tell you this. I paid $7,000 for mine. I paid half. My dad paid half. And the reason was that it was, and that's typically more expensive than most of the cars that were in the lot. Most of the cars were anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. The reason it was that expensive was because it was a foreign luxury car. So I'd say anywhere from 2 to 5 is a good price range. Especially if you go to an official dealership, you know that they're not going to cheat you there, and you know that it's a humble price range for most cars. But like I said, if you find one of the, like, people just leave motorcycles on the street with a sign that says "Call me" and then a price. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yes.
And I know people that have gone that route, and it works for them. And they haven't had any trouble. It's just people bought something and then they bought something else and they want to get rid of this now. It's not bad.
There's a huge stigma with the idea of a used car or a used anything, right? You can get a phone that was used for like 3 days and then sold because the person just didn't like the bloody phone. And you go to them, it's like, it's only used for 3 days. I'd rather pay the fucking extra $300 on the other one. I'm like, no, just get the bloody used one. It's fine. Factory reset it and use it. You know,
Or
like
worse.
a gentleman.
Yeah, or better. People buy something and then they decide they want to return it, but they outlive the warranty, or maybe they didn't get the warranty, so they're just like, you can have it, but it feels awkward, right? Because somebody already technically had it. But if you do want to cover all your bases, going through an official dealership is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, probably. No, I say this mainly because I upgraded my phone recently, and the only reason I upgraded my phone full price, I upgraded to a Galaxy Note 10 Plus. The only reason I actually made the upgrade full price is because when I asked, "Is anybody selling?" I usually look for an Apple tard who bought a Samsung and it was too complicated for them. So they're looking to get rid of it. That's the people.
Look at this twerp, man.
It's beautiful, man. Dude, I have like a cousin who did that. They're like, I know Galaxy is the better phone. I just like simplicity. Apple is simple, and I can't get over that.
Well, look, I'd be willing to admit that's what most people think. But then you got those stupid hipsters that ruin it for everybody. Apple is superior because Steve Jobs, and those people that still want to suck him off in the grave.
Dude, I have a brother-in-law, and that's what he does. He's like, oh, you use Samsung, you fucking weeb. Look at your good inferior phone. Oh, you have a pencil on your note. That's cute. Yeah, he just tries way too hard to convert everybody to the Apple wave. It's beautiful.
Can we talk about how people are debating phones now, as if there wasn't anything dumber than the game console wars? Now we got people debating phones, bro. It's like they all do the same thing. Do you know what half the features on your phone do? I don't, and I know that Apple pales in comparison to some of the other phones out there. Like I'm just looking at my phone. If I look at all the apps I have, I'm never going to use them. I wouldn't even use the Find My iPhone app. You know why? Because I'm not dumb enough to leave my phone. If you lose your phone, how are you going to use the Find My iPhone app? Yes.
With your Apple Watch.
That's right. Oh, that's right. I need to buy the watch. Yes, the watch, which does exactly the same as what the phone does. Maybe I should get the tablet too while I'm at it, and the mini, just so I can put it in my book bag too. Yeah, let's be that guy.
And the pen with the eye patch and the glasses.
What? Apple
There isn't. I'm just predicting the future here.
No. Listen, Samsung probably might have one, and then there's Samsung tards too, right?
There are Samsung tanks. Okay, don't even
shut up.
No, tanks, actual tanks. Samsung has a military division.
Oh, that's correct. Yes, I remember seeing that.
Imagine that.
Samsung took what Google was trying to do. You know how Google's trying to get into everything. Yep. We're going to make self-driving cars. Samsung's like, we're going to make tanks. Deal with it.
Deal with the bitches, I bet they do those pieces. They sell out the pieces for the drones.
Yeah, bro. Is it any mystery now why certain phones were exploding on Samsung? There was somebody who cracked a joke about this. They're just like, I remember seeing a Reddit post about this. I'm like, dude, it all makes sense now. They put tank parts in the phone. And you're looking at this and you're like, that's not entirely how it works, but I get the joke and that's why it's funny.
One designer didn't get the memo. He was at the tank division. And they switched it to him. It's like, nothing is exploding. What the fuck? Okay, we have to fix this.
He's like, all right, John, we're gonna switch you to phones now. That's fine as long as it as long as it goes.
Dude, imagine you're working on a phone and suddenly you get transferred to the fucking tank division. Imagine what kind of a mindfuck this. What?
Wow,
I'm
this is a
looking
lot
at
bigger than
barrels
what
now.
I'm used to.
I'm gonna kill lives if I should I quit my job.
Gotta start ethically questioning yourself.
Yes. What
Oh, I know
what if the tank doesn't work? Do I get shot? Like what happens? Is there different rules to this division?
Where's the manual? And no, Hassan, I am not a mechanic. It's just one thing you're going to learn when you have your first car is that once you get a car, you become your own version of a mechanic. I do have mechanic friends, and they've bailed me out of a lot of situations, but they've also taught me a lot about the car. Plus, you just kind of have to learn.
Yeah, I never did. You don't need to.
You probably, well, yeah, if you always have a mechanic on hand, like if you have a family mechanic, you can be lazy about it. But there comes a point where your mechanic just tells you change your oil, and if you don't know how to do that, you should hand over your balls then.
No, what I usually do is I don't touch the car. If it's broken or something is broken, I take it to a professional. If I need oil change or whatever, I take it to a professional place too. Either a local company or to Nissan itself and their car service thing. And I just let them do everything. I'd rather not touch anything in the car because if I'm going to touch anything, I'm going to have to take 4 or 5 courses. I know me. I'm going to buy books. I'm going to spend the next 1 year of my life learning about cars before I get to touch them. And then I touch them. And then I know I'm going to fuck up 3 times. So I'm going to buy 3 small test cars to mess around with. Yeah, I'm that guy. So I don't allow myself to enter. Just let the professionals handle it. And you can forget about it. Because otherwise I'm just going to become obsessed.
If you or a loved one has been affected by Samsung's military division, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Do you or a loved one have, oh my God, those commercials, bro. Why are they always on those taboo channels too? They're like on HLN, like True TV. It's whack. Mesothelioma. It's a serious issue, but not as serious as not knowing what your first car is going to be. I feel you, bro. You're going to be torn too. That's a tough decision, especially if you're a car junkie.
And let me tell you, you're not going to like either choice you make. You're going to love it eventually. But the first choice you make, the first thing that will happen is as you're driving is like, maybe the Civic was better. And maybe I should have gotten that. That was way cheaper. And look at this. Maybe it's the same performance. What's wrong with me? And then eventually you're going to develop a taste for your car. No, it helps if you give her a name. It always helps.
Yes, I named mine Megatron, but I still call her a she. That's another thing. Don't call your car a guy.
Yeah, never.
Guy,
it's a her.
That's weird.
She's a beauty, because if you say he's a beauty, gender pronouns, the gender pronoun police will be angry with you, and it'll be like cars are hers, and then you're like, okay. So
and then eventually, a couple months down the road, you're gonna have the gender pronoun people retract that, or you're gonna have a hashtag on Twitter. We would like pronouns to be included for cars to be male or female, no matter the gender that's driving the car, because the mentality before was right. The history behind that is men used to name their ships, and their ships were female. They would name them females. Yep. And so that translated to the car days. But it also nowadays just translates to if you're a guy, you ride in a car and you don't ride another guy typically. So make your own conclusions there.
Yeah, you can't call your car a him. That's gay,
Yeah, it's 2019. No one's really going to care about what you do. But if they do, they have way too much time on their hands.
Moving on. Let's answer another thing Hassan said. Like this is the Answer Hassan's Questions show. There we go. I don't know how to respond to this. Thoughts on Reddit as a reliable source of information? How do you even? It's not. The only reliable source of information is an information that has citations on it, and even those you have to question them.
Reddit is a reliable source of anecdotal information. There's always gems on Reddit.
Yep.
And I always find myself going to Reddit for a good laugh. But if you want a good summary of what Reddit is, have you seen those videos where it's like I ask teachers on Reddit what their worst student was, or like what their worst experience was, or I ask an undercover cop on Reddit what it means to, have you seen those videos? And it's like people who claim to be undercover cops and super agents or whatever, secret agents, they answer on the Reddit threads. That's Reddit a perfect representation of what Reddit is. Like, you might have one real person and then the rest are just people, hey, I want to be cool too.
No, the only Reddit thread I entered was today I fucked up, and I did it for a few months, and then I stopped because the pattern started repeating. And with today I fucked up, you just tell the story of a fuck up you had, and then there's a fuck up of the month, and then there's a fuck up of the year, and people compete for them. And that was the only thing. I wanted a good laugh in the morning. I would open today I fucked up, and I would take a read and see what dumbass did what this time, right? But that was pretty much it. Otherwise, I ask a question, and if I get referred to Reddit, I go. But generally, if it has the information you have, you can try them. Again, anecdotal, as Lewi said, you can try it. But if doing it has a consequence, especially monetary consequence, have a professional look at it. It's always better to be sure.
I'll tell you what Reddit is good for. It's good for games and the feedback of the games. A lot of games now and companies shut up. It has to be good for something. I know most companies do not listen or read their subreddits, or rather they read them, they just don't choose to acknowledge them. But yes, people go on Reddit to get Tumblr.
All of that's crap. Okay. All of that is crap. It's where the scum congregate. It's people who can't have friends show up. Okay? Much like Discord, funny enough.
It's a gaming platform, I swear.
Yes, it's a gaming platform. Right? It's just, let's accept it for what it is. People who have way too much time on their hands and not enough friends go there. And sometimes they do good, but that does not mean that the platform is reliable or even remotely justified. I don't like Reddit. I don't like Tumblr. I don't like Pinterest. I don't like Google Plus, and I don't like any platform like that. Hey. YouTube gets a pass because you can make good content from there.
Hey,
what good content would you get from Reddit?
Don't hate on Google Plus. You don't beat a dead horse or hit somebody while they're down.
I'm sorry. Like the Stadia. I don't know. That was
we can make fun of the Stadia all day. That's stupid. Like the world needed another video game controller or another modded video game controller. Like,
dude, fuck the controller. The fucking service doesn't work. It needed 4 more years at least.
Kind of a foregone conclusion, right?
Yeah, it's Google in the end, I guess. It's to be expected. I love how like Google Hangouts had like an 8-year head start on this service, StreamYard. 8 years, and it had everybody in it, and still this one random app, StreamYard, beats it by 100 miles in every way conceivable, and it just came out. Like, if anything, this probably took a year or two to create, right? And the Hangout guys are sitting there like, how did they do that? You can change camera fucking angles? Look, wow, huh?
Yeah, what is
so
this?
Innovative.
TikTok? What are you doing? Public service announcement, by the way. TikTok has become the new Vine.
Oh, it has been for a while, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it, honestly. Just what I
TikTok is horrifying. It's made by the Japanese. Yeah, it's made by the not the Japanese, the Chinese, which are scarier. You know, if the Japanese brainwash you to become a pervert, the Chinese just fucking brainwash you, and that's very different. You know.
And they have their market set on kids, so beware. Because remember, kids in our society decide what's cool, what's in, and what's out. And TikTok,
And yet,
my friend, very in.
Kids decide everything, and now we can't even escape them because they're going to enter our turf, our adult videos, our music videos.
Which reminds me, we have now reached that point in the broadcast where we must ensure that we are no longer child safety or mistaken for child safety.
Yes. Fuck.
Shit.
Vagina.
Cunt.
Fag.
Gut.
What? What the fuck is that?
You said the first word. You said the prefix. I said the suffix to the word.
Oh, right. Nazi. I'm gonna always go Nazi. I have to.
I guess straight white cis male. That's it. FBI, open up. I'll get swatted out here, bro.
I hope that becomes a thing. It's like customary moment to not become child friendly, and just like, you know, somebody makes a song, the other guy makes makes an article, the other guy just makes a tweet. I don't know. I want to see how people fucking go past this.
I'm waiting for somebody to, you know how people make like templates for stuff and they right, whether it be for YouTube banners or like profile pictures or whatever it may be. I'm waiting for somebody to make like a template of what to do in your video, and it's like, this is a video that everyone can use free of charge to put in the middle of their video to ensure that the video will not be charged or marked as child friendly.
Dude, make it a Chinese voice generator, right? Saying all the bad words in a horrible Chinese accent. Fuck. Kong. Fuck up. You know?
Ni hao.
And then the algorithm mistakes it for being child friendly because they're not being pronounced properly.
Oh, if you don't think the algorithm is going to be in for some overtime with this new update.
Oh, fuck yes. It's going to be fucking scary. But on better news, Netflix has a new show that's good that came out, and that's The Witcher. The Witcher is finally out. It was out yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm 6 episodes in. I'm 6 episodes in. I like it. I like the production. They didn't fuck up the storytelling. There's tons of nudity, so they're true to the source material, and to my eyes. And here's I have one problem with the show. On the very first episode, you have Geralt versus a bunch of bandits and thugs, right? And there are like 7 of them, and 6 of them are you're pale as the fucking moon, right? And then you have the crossbowman, and the crossbowman is like a fucking piece of charcoal, right? Black. And you're like, what is that doing there? You know, it's like within the group of generic white guys, they had to put that token black guy. It's not a horror film. What the fuck is going on? You know, he doesn't even die first. They don't even follow the trope.
So wait, it's just like the villains come, and there's 5 white guys, and there's just like the black, just the one black guy.
Yes, there's a token black guy. There's also a ton of token black guys throughout the scenes.
Look how look how we are as a society, where it's like we're noticing this as a problem instead of just a funny coincidence.
No, because it's not. Because I know they're like, okay,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I knew, I know that that the producers know they went through a checklist, and that was one of the things on the list.
And you know what's hilarious for me? They could have implemented black actors, right? Because A few episodes later, they introduce the Dryads, and the Dryads are like forest people. In the books, they're supposed to be green, right? Green doesn't work on TV, though. So making them black-skinned was a good creative liberty to take. You know? That I'm fine with that one. But putting just a random bat in it, look at us, look at me, I have a crossbow, I'm black, I hurt, you know? I'm like, what is that doing in my white people show? Which sounds horrible, but it's true.
Well, they make it too easy to notice, right?
Yes. They even give him like a focus. They zoom to him. That's why they gave him the crossbow. And I'm like, at least you could have just had him swing a sword, not give him the bloody crossbow, which was the highlight of that fucking scene.
Whoa. You're saying black people cannot use crossbows, my friend? I will have you know that black people have all the accuracy at their disposal that any white male can.
That's why they tilt their guns to give us an advantage.
Sure, let's go with that. That's why they do. Why do they do that, actually? Does it look cooler?
I assume... No, it's okay.
A cap in this ass.
No, I think the logic behind this, and Nicky Bean, we're not ignoring you. Just say something bloody interesting, you piece of shit. If you point the gun like this, just straight on, it shows that you are careful, you're alert, and you're ready to kill. If you show it like this, you pop 50 motherfuckers beforehand.
You somehow managed to sound black and British at the same time. Or possibly like a British guy trying a Scottish accent.
I don't know. Like, what I mean, it implies that you did this 100 times and now you're bored of it, right? Like, here are, like, I don't need to have my gun straight. I can just tilt it and you'd still be scared, you little sissy piece of shit, stuff like that. I assume that's the mentality. Otherwise, you'd just point it directly.
Why use two hands for improved accuracy when you can use one and a different pose?
Or you can do what the Japanese did in that one anime where for some reason the guns are upside down and there are two of them and you shoot them like this and you're like, what the fuck?
I know what you mean. That's not a Japanese thing though. That's like an Italian mafia movie thing too. Like the Japanese just ruin it because they'll ruin anything these days. I assume it was in an anime.
Check this out.
I just can't take him seriously. There was one that I started listening to that I thought it was pretty dope. I got recommended to him.
Black rappers?
No, not black rappers.
Sorry,
British rappers. Yeah. They just don't sound right to me. It's hard for me to get into them.
Actually, I talked about this with one of my friends, which was black, and that is relevant. And I was telling him about how, like, every time I try to listen to rap, like, outside from a different language than English, it sounds great because I don't understand the lyrics. But when I hear the Arabs try to rap, and we do, from it's a big genre with the kids, right? It just doesn't feel right. And then my friend would go like, yes, because generally speaking, rap is very cultural. And if you're going to adapt rap into your culture, you can't have it sound like fucking black rap from the US. You need to change the platform and change the beats and change everything. But how everybody tries to do it is, I want to sound like fucking Kanye. So I'm going to make the same beats Kanye makes, and I'm going to make the same disses Kanye makes.
References.
I'm a sick fuck.
Dumber.
Like a quick fuck. Ooh,
it's true, though. There's nothing dumber than like a British rapper talking about Chicago when they've never even left the UK before.
Yeah, it's weird, right? So even if it goes to the same language, but because it's a different culture in the United Kingdom, you have to add like, "Oi, mate, check your state." Just something dumb like that. Yeah. You're gonna have to turn it British. Just turn it fucking British, okay? Just go. tea and Muppets and Mermite and all the British references. Make
England
it so
is
British
like,
it's uncomfortable. Yeah, like fuck New Hampshire. It's just something fucking dumb. Fuck New York. We have the actual York here. Something dumb. Just do it. Just go. That's an advice to our British rappers. Go ahead. Just make something dumb in English. We like you that way.
I just have to address the elephant in my room when it comes to listening to British rappers. The ones that have an extremely heavy accent, it just makes me crack up, bro.
Hey, you know what would be a good example for actually British rap? Any British character in the epic rap battles. They actually do them all right. Yeah, they actually do them responsibly.
You saw the latest ERB then, right?
Yes, Oppenheimer. Yes,
Oppenheimer versus the Grape.
Battle. Yes. Why was his head so big? He didn't need to be that big.
Dude, you know what I think the problem is they made Lloyd, Epic Lloyd, they made him play Thanos, and that did not work out. They should have picked the guy who they used to play the Hulk in the Caitlyn Jenner versus, because that's a big guy. He can.
Dude, you could have padded him up a little bit, and I wouldn't have minded the lack of realism. I would be fine. Just beef up his upper chest.
It's just the head.
Don't show us, and don't show us the lower part. Always show him towering, maybe him sitting on a seat or something. At least you're gonna give us the illusion. But
I'm inevitable, intolerable, blah, 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 all these verbs, and then
you're like, "What's wrong?"
It's like he looks like a midget.
I love how I swear what it feels like is that whoever was making this bloody thing, the editor, was ignoring the fact that Lloyd is in the frame, and then he added everything else, and I was like, just pretend he's not there. Just pretend he's not there.
He just got so used to editing all the other rap battles in a certain way, and he's like, oh, this should be no different. And then he watch it back, and he's like, something's the matter here. But we're on a schedule, and I don't know if I have time to fix it.
There's one thing, though. Oppenheimer and that fucking rap battle, that was amazing. I never thought hearing... Oh, he won there is no competition.
I don't know.
The second
he was fighting, or he was battling Fortnite's dopest dancer. That line...
I think that was a minus. That was a minus hit.
Killed Thanos.
Yes, that was the minus hit.
That was the only. This is the only rap battle where I've gone out of my way to go look for reaction videos for, because I heard that line and I'm like, I want to know. I just want to know how other people feel about it. Everybody hates it. Everybody cringes, or he lost
by far. But here's when I saw Oppenheimer, I got very interested because how are they going to use their Oppenheimer's kill line, And then he goes like, I am become deaf. And I'm like, thank you. I never thought I'd needed this. And now I have it.
The old radio effect is what sold it for me. That's just amazing.
I never thought old radio can sound musical. I never thought. But it did. And it worked so well.
These guys know what they're doing, bro. Hey.
Dude, they're upping. Each rap battle get ups from the one before it. They're on a road. They started slow until they got everything good, and then they just charged like maniacs, and here we are. Just to me, I think the best one of the season is Mother Teresa versus what's his name, Sigmund Freud. That has to be the best. The disses, flow, everything, just everything about that was fun. There wasn't a single line I didn't enjoy there.
This is a really good season. I like the Joker versus Pennywise.
That one was amazing. That one actually topped reached old ERB numbers back when they were like the thing on YouTube.
People were asking for it since season 1.
Yep. Dude, they have to end it with Margaret Thatcher versus fucking Bismarck. They fucking have to. They have to do the accents. It's gonna be beautiful. No, the season. I want the season to end with the bloody, because everybody's been annoying ERB about it for years. They're like Margaret Thatcher versus like all the iron people in history, like 5 people, but it begins with Bismarck and Thatcher. They can also make fun of British politics and this fucking Brexit age. It's just beautiful, just fucking beautiful. Can't wait for it.
I'm sure they're listening. Yeah.
They're saving it up. I bet my ass they're saving it up.
Their Patreon has a lot of influence, though, as far as what they do next. So, thankfully, a lot of the Patreon members have a lot of the similar opinions as the normal commenters, so that works out. But yeah, I think they've actually used this season, because I remember in the past few seasons they were doing battles that like people asked for them, but they were pretty niche in requests.
Yep.
And you were just like, what? Did anyone really ask for Caitlyn Jenner versus Bruce Banner?
I don't think so. I think that was Disney's attempt at telling them, make it LGBTQ a bit, just add a little bit to it. And they're like, oh, okay, fuck. What do we do? And they thought about it, like, you know what? Let's put 2 people who transform. And just, I guess that will be RB enough that people wouldn't notice, and people noticed.
People noticed because they made it so one-sided. It wasn't a bad idea, right? It's because it's ERB. It's funny. 2 people that transform, that's an interesting concept. Whatever,
Yes, but they had that other, like, they had whoever played Caitlyn just keep going. And I'm like, what? Hulk gets 1 line?
She kept going, and she kept mixing in like inspirational lingo. Right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, definitely.
You need to be man enough to contain yourself, or what? Like a tiger. Stop trying to tame yourself. You need to be boss enough to. I don't know. To like embrace yourself. Something.
Yeah, I remember. I don't watch that rap battle too often.
It's one of the when I binge it. When I go back, I skip that one.
And the one it really had a very, very powerful start, and it got me really engaged. But then went also in that route was Thomas Jefferson versus what's his name?
Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, Frederick Douglass. Now that in the beginning lines of Thomas Jefferson, that was fucking intense. Loved it.
That was such a wasted battle, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because like that season, we don't talk about that season. True, it gave us Churchill versus Roosevelt. True, but that was their only redeeming factor. Also, the Trump-Hillary one, but even the Trump-Hillary one.
The Trump-Hillary one's the best one in the series, in my opinion.
But it was clearly leaning Hillary.
I know, but it was at the very end, though. It was at the very end until they got there. I was like,
yeah. They did not they did not waste any punches. I thought they were going to be pro Hillary in the beginning, but then put them next to your emails, and now that the ground is fair. And you just sit.
I thought Vlad the Impaler versus Dracula would have been one of the better ones this season if they would have given Dracula some better lines. He basically insulted him for being able to read. Ooh.
Dude, to me, that wasn't a rap battle. That was just a bloody song. Because, for example, like, check 1, 2. I love that.
I know, I love that too. But when making a rap battle, you have to consider that every line counts.
Yeah,
you do that for aesthetically pleasing purposes.
But it's as a song, it's very brilliant. As a rap battle, Vlad won easy. Like, that wasn't even a competition because he was the actual one delivering lines. Stephen Irwin versus Jack Cousteau, and
that's catchy.
That was
the catchiest of the season.
No, dude, fuck being catchy. That to me, that's ERB finally rediscovering what brought them here. They got popularized by Hitler versus fucking Darth Vader, right? And then they go in that line. Would you like to talk about your brother? Oh boy, Nazi, Nazi, Nazi. Oh yeah. And I'm like, I was driving when I watched this, and when he said Nazi, 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 I almost crashed. Like, I just had to readjust because it It was them just going back to their roots of just immaturity. I love it. And I love the comment section on that one. Like, we're doing Australian accents, Epic Lloyd, and the Epic Lloyd, Nazi, yo, yo, yo. That's probably the first line he came up with.
I feel like every time in the writer's room when they decide who they're going to move forward with, there's always that one line that one guy in the writer's room is just sitting in the back there. He's waiting for the right time to reveal.
Yeah, just
ask me
throws it out.
Ask me for my draft. I got one right here. I got the line. I got the showstopper.
Oh, yes. And I love that in epic rap battles, there is an actual team working on the lyrics. Besides the Patreon, they fucking sit down. They're like, okay, we're doing this guy versus this guy. Everybody sleep on it. Come with a draft. And now we're going to fight on the fucking board on what makes it. And because 5 people come with 5 different ideas and they start mixing them together and matching and creating the order, the quality is actually way better and they're not shy about that. Meanwhile, a regular rapper comes along and is like, oh, I make the entire song, I mix them, I put them together on tape, I cook them, I put them in the oven, and I eat them. Aren't I creative?
And you get 20 views on SoundCloud. Congratulations.
Yep.
Go hand out your mixtape at a university again.
Actually, there is a good equivalent to Epic Rap Battle, but what they do is instead of rapping characters, they rap concepts, and the people rapping are the pioneers of that concept. I don't remember the name, but there was one that was that I clicked on. It was Marx versus some capitalist or another, right? And
John
basically, no, I don't think John Locke. I thought it to be Hamilton, but it's not. It's not Adam Smith. I don't remember who it was, but it was pretty good. Like the lyrics were good, the disses were good. They were fair to both sides because they used their arguments. And it was out very enjoyable, surprisingly.
What I've seen is it's another incarnation of ERB, but it's with princesses. Like, have you seen that one?
No, I never dared.
I watched it. It's nowhere near as catchy. I'll save you the trouble. Like the production value's up there, but the skill is not.
The skill is not, and not only that, ERB defined the format, and guess what everybody does when you define a format? They just bloody copy you, and it never works.
Nothing like the original.
But
to answer Hassan, I do remember your favorite Martian, and I'm sad that their tenure on YouTube was so brief.
Wait, which one is that?
Tiggle Bitties, Doing Your Mom, although that was more Ray William Johnson. The Balls song, Big Balls or whatever. Might even be able to react to this, considering that they don't care about copyright anymore or something. You've definitely seen them, but you maybe don't know.
But I don't know the name. Yeah, that's YouTube in a nutshell for me.
The douchebag song. Oh, Orphan Tears. That was one of my favorites. Oh, the Stereotype song. Hold on, where is?
Oh yeah, actually, we have to give a moment of silence for the ban of one of the greatest videos on YouTube. One of the content cops got hit.
Oh no! Come on, bro. What?
Yeah. One of the content. I don't know. It got hit for harassment. I just remembered, and everybody started binging Content Cop, including me, because we thought it was going to go too. But thankfully, nothing else was touched, and I hope that remains the same.
Come on, man. You think someone like iDubbbz too is kind of invincible at the moment?
Dude, iDubbbz is the hero of YouTube. Okay, you can't fucking hit his content. I won't allow it.
I know he took down Leafy, or he didn't take him down, but he went at Leafy is here. That at his prime, like that. Do you know the balls that takes?
Dude, he hit everybody. He hit everybody without discrimination. I love my favorite is Tanamangu by far. You know, like just showed up to her fucking place, say nigger. Just beautiful, just so good, so fucking good. And he looks like such a fun person to be with and very nice in real life. He looks like that guy, right? Who would do outrageous things when provoked, but he's just nice just to be around, you know? That's what iDubbbz looks like. And he does crazy things. Like he goes all across country to meet one fat YouTuber because he found him intriguing and he thinks his side should be shown. You know, like he's fucking crazy. I hope Content Cop continues. We need him attacking people again. Like Rice Gum. I remember that fucking Content Cop. Now that was the fucking destruction.
Rice Gum deserved every second of that too. Is that still around, or did he end his career too?
I think he's around, but like almost every other channel that's not Keemstar, their growth just receded, just out.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Drama Alert, like Keemstar is easy because he basically his content is just, and I hate using this term because fair use, but leeching off of other content, right? Like his content is to report on other content. There's no way not to get views.
I would be fine with it if he actually did a good job, but he doesn't.
I always thought he was passable. I never watched him religiously, but I always thought it was just like, yeah, it's a YouTuber reporting on stupid YouTube and internet things. You can't expect much.
You know, that sounds rich coming from you. Now that I think about it.
Oh, very, but not as rich as this video I'm about to show you a snippet of. Your favorite Martian.
All right, let's clickety click. Clickety click. Let's take a look. See. This stereotype song.
There we go.
Let's take a look. See.
You know, I always thought stereotypes were kind of ridiculous, so I wrote a song about it. And it goes a little something like this. I think I love you more than the Japanese love tingle horn, and we should to these stereotypes. Let's come together and live in this world like a unibrow on an Indian girl, and we should stereotypes. Now, I love those fat Americans. You know they're so obnoxious. They always eating burgers. They always holding shotguns. And I love Mexicans. The way they mow my lawn. They all got 100 kids because they don't know how to put a condom on. That's the way they roll. You gotta go big like an Israeli nose. You have to an Irish guy and they're out of control like a Chinese driver. I love the Middle East, but how do they handle rocking burgers while they riding camels? I love Dominicans, yeah, they cool, but they always high, so don't let them fool you. And I love them Puerto Ricans, even though they wash their ass about once a weekend. I'm just joking, if you didn't know, then you're a little slow, and you're probably from Poland. I think I love you more than the Japanese love tingle horn, and we should to these stereotypes. Let's come together and live in this world like a unibrow on an Indian girl, and we should to these stereotypes.
So yeah.
Okay, I am sad that I never got exposed to this. I
Really?
feel like I missed a part of my childhood.
Really?
I have, didn't I?
You no, there's if you ever get the chance, the project's retired now. It was Ray William Johnson's side project and what eventually took up most of his time when he abandoned the Equals 3 channel. And oh my god, bro, when they dropped the video, everyone at school the next day knew it by heart already. Tig Old Biddies, that was the one.
Dude, this is the diversity I can subscribe to. A diversity where everybody makes fun of everybody. I love that. I fucking love that.
And it goes on. He makes fun of the French and
the Russians. They're coming. The French, Russian, Germans, the Africans are coming. Like no holds barred. I love that. I fucking love
national. That makes me kind of want to watch it to the end. The National Geographic line. Oh my god! For anyone that knows, you know. Anyone that doesn't, I'm gonna go watch.
I'm gonna have to watch this off camera. At some point. No. Here's the thing about YouTube. There's so much. There's always something you missed. I love that. I love that about YouTube, and I hope they don't remove anything substantial. I know they're gonna remove shit. I hope they don't remove our favorite stuff. I know, like, don't find PewDiePie. Don't push them away from the platform, because if you do, another platform will latch onto them. And I'm not a fan of using multiple programs for my content. That's why I stick to Netflix. So by all means, YouTube, get your shit together. I don't mind you having a monopoly as long as you're treating us right.
But you know who's probably not going to get treated right is Tekashi 69. Got released from prison today.
Who the fuck is Tekashi 69? Well, I may know him. Tell me what he did. If you take your headphones off, it doesn't mean you're muted, Lewi.
I know. I wanted to scream.
Well, tell me what he did. Maybe I don't know the name.
Tekashi, he's the guy that has 69 tattooed all over his face, and he has rainbow hair and rainbow teeth. You have definitely seen him, but
what did he do? Again,
he's a rapper, and he got arrested for for drugs and for having a gun, a firearm, and then he snitched in prison to reduce his sentence.
Oh, that guy. Okay. See, now we're getting somewhere.
He snitched in court.
And they made him into a meme.
Yes.
They made him into a meme. Yes, I know the guy. Yes.
And you've sent me memes of him. Yeah, you definitely know. But
yes.
And then he got out recently. He's supposed to. And because he snitched.
He got shot. Please tell me he got shot.
Not yet.
Did he get stitches?
That is the plan, according to a lot of people who claim to be gang members on Twitter.
Oh, right. So, no threats, no actual threats of violence. Got it.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But the idea is that he is going to endure a lot of torment. He's walking around with like 10 different bodyguards, literally surrounding him in a circle. Should be fun. He already was doing that, but now he has more of a reason to.
Yeah, how does freedom taste? I have a bodyguard sit with me in the toilet.
Well, to be fair, this is why, when people mention the criminal justice system and criminal justice reform, not Kamala, of course, because she just wants to keep putting more people in, preferably black people. That she gets like a hard on off of that. But
yes.
No, when the criminal justice reform situation, part of the problem is that people feel more secure in prison, knowing that they're going to have 3 meals a day, knowing that they have free health insurance, knowing that they have camaraderie there, and that they get to go outside every once in a while per day. I'm not saying you want to go to prison, because you shouldn't. But I'm also not saying it's such a bad gig either. For those that have nothing else to lose.
Yeah, if you're starving, you might as well go, right?
So there were some people that were cracking that joke, like, "Oh, he should have stayed in prison," right? Like, at least he knows he probably won't die in there. So
that's my favorite type of business. The guy who would take the blame for you and enter prison. I was always fascinated with that. I like prison. How about I make money off the fact that I like prison?
Yeah, pay me like $3,000. And I'll go to prison for you for 3 months or something.
No, it's better. I can you tell me what crime you want me to commit for you. I do it, and then I turn myself in. I get a fair trial with a fair lawyer with the money you gave me, and then when I exit prison 3 years or 4 years later, I get to have this fixed amount, and it's not cheap. And for the next whenever I run out, I overspend, I go gamble or something, and once I'm done, I go back to prison again because I don't mind. It's a business model. I love it. I want to to find that site in the deep web that goes like you know uh, how many years do you want? For 10 years, that's going to be a 50,000 package.
Add to cart.
Yeah, add to cart.
Like a whole website. We have specialized criminals who are willing to go to prison for you. I believe I first found out about that in the movie Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. Dude, I laughed my ass off when I found out that was a thing.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love that as a concept. It's a testament that like America is such a free market society that literally anything can make you money. You guys would pay for fucking anything or get paid for fucking anything. I love it. I love it. It is not a diss. I fucking love it.
No, but Twitter's been going over. They've been working overtime this week. Apparently, ASAP Rocky and Steph Curry's nudes got leaked today or last night. And
does ASAP Rocky get a break?
Never. Oh, never. With a name like ASAP, no.
I mean, fair fucking enough.
Like Steph Curry's nudes were leaked, and he's part of like a Christian athletic family, so that. We'll see how that develops. That should be entertaining. But ASAP Rocky. What type of nudes were
they? Huh? Were they like? What type of nudes were they? Were they like full on frontal? I'm ashamed of my body, or I'm not ashamed of my body, or are these one of these timid ones that you send your girlfriend because she keep bugging you?
The funniest part is there's one. It's like the nudes came out in like a collage file, and it's part of one bigger picture, and it's hilarious because a lot of people think the nudes are fake because it's basically one picture of him getting out of the locker room, and then like a picture from like up here, picture from like down there. And the funniest part about the Steph Curry situation is a lot of people are they're making fun of his wife, Ayesha Curry, because his wife is like an attention whore, kind of like she wants to be in the spotlight. And she recently came out and said a few months ago that she was a happily married woman and she was glad that men respected her. But she was also kind of sad that nobody catcalled her anymore because it makes her feel like she's getting old and like that she's not attractive or beautiful anymore. And so a lot of people made fun of her for it because it's like, what do you bitches want? First, you want people to respect you, then you don't. Then you want people to respect you in moderation. Then you want people to catcall you because even though it's disrespectful, it still shows you that there's an appeal to you. What do you want? So when Steph Curry, her husband's nudes came out, everyone on Twitter was cracking jokes. Ayesha is going to be so jealous that it wasn't her nudes that got leaked. That's the story. It's not even his nudes. It's how his wife is going to react to his nudes.
He's like, how dare you have your nudes being leaked? I wanted that.
Yeah. It's always supposed to be the woman first. Come on.
I wanted to cry on camera and call them demons for leaking my naked body, and then secretly lavish on the fact that everybody gets to look.
Not you. But ASAP Rocky's was even better because he didn't just release nudes or have nudes leaked. Although you could say release. I feel like sometimes, yes, a sex tape came out and people trash talked the ever living fuck out of this video. Apparently,
right?
I have not seen it. You're gonna have to just take my word for that. His girth game is not too strong. He doesn't have a very good stroke. And Pornhub made sure to let him know in the comment section. It was trending apparently on the website.
Wait. What do you mean ASAP Rocky doesn't have a good stroke? Is he gay? What? Or am I
No,
confused?
apparently in the sex tape where he was doing his girl, a lot of people mentioned or observed how weak, like, he was doing it, how weak he was riding her.
Oh, right, okay. Because
if I'm wondering if it's still a top trending video on Pornhub, but the comment sections of that video, you don't have to go watch the video. Right?
Just go to the comments.
Just go to the comments. It's like YouTube all over. You just go to the comments. There. Hold on. I have a couple saved here that were just gold. Found out Rocky was blowing back, so I came through ASAP. Here before the starts trending. ASAP, no Rocky. This shit trash. This sex tape reminds me of testing. A whole lot of ass. And it goes on and on and on. And it's moments like this that remind you why the internet is a beautiful place again.
Remember that post where somebody asked a math problem in the fucking Pornhub comment section and somebody gave him a legitimate answer?
And the reasoning for that answer?
And the reasoning for that answer, yes. It's beautiful. It's a community now.
I'm still looking for that comment, by the way. Rather, I'm still looking for the video. I hope one day I can find the video where that comment lives. I want it to be the highest rated comment by the time I get there.
Also, I love that one, which is like a 27-year-old sissy boy gets absolutely destroyed by a 46-year-old man or something, and it's Eminem's kill shot. Just there for
like, Nick Cannon, you're next, bud.
Like, or you know, like two twins get absolutely destroyed by an Arab or something, and then they have a fucking 9/11.
Oh god, bro. Oh god.
Demonetized.
As if we already weren't kid friendly. We don't know the line. We don't know where the line is drawn.
There is no line. It's the fucking soul grinder. I'm not gonna pull any punches. I love that shit.
We'll hold that thought because I have to take a piss. BRB.
Okay. Hello, comment section. We've been ignoring you for a few seconds. Let's read. Thoughts on actual rap battles? You mean, you know, like diss tracks between people, or do you mean like when two people like show up like 8 Mile style and spit at each other? Because I don't like those, because you know, rap is more fun when you have time to actually make the disses quality. But when it's a rap battle between two people and they have to come up with the lines on the spot, what happens is that they have a bunch of generic hits like I don't even know you, I don't even you know, who are you, you're beneath me, and of course general disses on facial features, which are not the most important part of fucking rap battles. So I definitely like it better when it's when people have time to think, and more importantly when they have time to synchronize their disses. You know, so it's more friendly. They diss each other's flaws, and both of them thrive off it. I like that. Okay, I don't know the rest of the shit, Hassan. I don't know, I don't know who Shitty G is. I don't know, whatever. And why is nobody else talking? Okay, so let me think. So from the YouTube comment section, what I came to understand is that comment sections are probably one of the main reasons the internet has the appeal that it has. So I like fucking comment sections on every fucking platform. I actually reached the point where if you have an article and I read the article, I expect there to be a comment section. And if they're not, you're an inferior article site.
Hence why I go straight to the comment. That's a policy for me on any website. That's supposed to promote public opinion, public domain, freedom of expression. I must see a comment section, because if you're going to be sending me your noise, I want to be able to hear other people's.
Dude, I love back in the day when you have a game on GameStop or something like that, and a new game gets released for the PS4, and then you go down to the comment section and it's a console war. I love that shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, it gets old. It's evolved now to Apple versus Samsung war.
It's gonna be. There's always gonna be two teams. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. There'll always be two people. Democrat versus Republican, or Labor versus Conservative. There'll always be two teams.
By the way, while we're on the subject, peep this fire wraith skin.
Lewi, this is a PG-13 stream. How dare you show?
Well, look at her personality.
How dare you celebrate
her personality?
How dare you celebrate? How dare you celebrate the female form? You're supposed to be respectful. Show her
respectful.
Show her like a dress, a very not revealing dress that is super loose, so you can't see anything. Even though somebody will find a way to sexualize that too, I guess. But
I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is a very powerful pose picture image, especially if you zoom in into the lower third of the screen.
Oh yes, definitely. No. Here's the thing, Hassan, about freestyles, because we mentioned freestyles before you came, when you were taking a piss, Louis. I don't think there is anything called a legitimate freestyle rap battle. I don't think so. Most people always sit down and memorize a ton of lines off script, right? And then finding out how to put these lines on the fucking live. It's basically a live performance of memorized disses, which is why I don't like it. Because you have to make them as generic as possible, remember them and say them. I bet I can sit down for 8 hours, come up with 18 disses, and show up and freestyle after I practice. I won't say I will be good, but I will say I have enough. Whoa, look at this. We have a new person on stream. Who the fuck is this? Who's Z?
Or Zai?
Zai? It's
what do you
Zem.
Mean people aren't
Excuse
fapping?
You?
Probably I know. What do you mean people aren't fapping? No Fap November already passed, bro.
It was no Fap. That was. Is it November? I thought. No, not November. Right there you go.
Or no nap. Yeah, no, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah,
shut up.
Fair. Oh, Nicky Beam finally asking the relevant questions. Look at this. Where's Darkrai Q8?
Where is
Darkrai Q8 has a job now, and his job is way more intense than mine. And he gets compensated for it, but that also means that he has to use the weekends to actually rest.
How many toilets does he have to flush per day?
None. He makes plastics.
And then he flushes them. Or you flush
No,
them
I
for
flush
him.
them. I do the flushing. I'm a professional toilet flusher, even though my job recently has been more sitting down and trying to reduce a $120,000 US contract into a $30,000 US contract, so we can actually pay for it.
Sure, keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that's what you're doing all those hours where you're just sitting there at your desk looking for the hours to pass you by.
Well, dude, I haven't worked more than 2 hours a day so far. I will not deny that. But I have been assigned schools, okay? I'm not flushing toilets anymore. I am doing my part to better the society.
You know what you should go do? You should go teach a course. Become an engineering professor.
Here's what you do to survive your government job. You need to have a snack. You need to have a bunch of snacks, and you need to find a spot where you can vape in peace. Okay? You also need to know when to leave and still feel people will still think you're still there. You know, all the how to avoid work 101s.
Shut up.
You're just jealous.
I am jealous. I would be ridiculous not to be jealous of such a workload, such a workday, a schedule like that. Wow.
It does, dude. It does get boring though. Like half my colleagues, more than half, just go to sleep.
No, you don't. You bring a
Leave.
Switch or you bring a laptop, and then you.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I don't waste the trip. I don't want to drive 4 times every day to work. What I do is just open the laptop, watch a few things, learn a few things. I got a bunch of online courses. I got me Netflix. I got me video games. And for the next 6 hours, if there is no work, I just spend it on those. And then I go back home and I do whatever else I want to do. But most people just punch in, go to bed, wake up, and then punch out. And by go to bed, I mean literally go home to their bed and then literally come back to punch in and then come back. My house is a bit far from my work, so doing that is not as worth it. Or maybe I would have done it one day or two where I'm super tired. Instead, I come with this, which is like a machine. I just put it for coffee and it holds the heat for like about 16 hours. So what I do is, yeah, that thing.
I was like, I was wondering if it was a water bottle or something. You were struggling with that.
I don't know the names of it. I got it.
No, because you introduced it as I have this device, and I thought you were gonna make it sound like you invented that. Like, no. Fuck out of here! What?
No, I just pour a ton of coffee there, and I just show up, and I burn through it in 2 days generally. Actually, this is leftovers from Thursday's portion, so I'm using that for coffee for this session instead, which is why my cup looks like a fucking screw handle for Easter eggs for the people who want to know everything. Like this thing. This is the cover. So whenever I drink this, I feel like an undercover cop. On a stakeout, they always show up with these, right?
That is true. Yeah,
these and donuts. I'm missing the donuts. I've been drinking energy drinks like water. Yeah, like water to survive the night shift, so my heart is starting to feel funny. Don't. Just coffee, man. Just go for coffee. Don't go for energy drinks. They play with your sperm, or so they tell me.
They also make the frogs gay.
They also make the frogs gay, yes.
But
do you want to be gay? Huh? Do you want to be gay? Do you want to be privileged? Or I guess not privileged in this case.
Do you want to know the funny thing about energy drinks, though, is I never got into them. They're delicious every time you taste them. But like I'll have double or triple Red Bull vodkas, right? And you feel those. You feel after you've had a couple, you will feel those. But now, I only used to drink energy drinks, particularly Red Bull, when it was like finals week at school. And I know that I needed to stay up, or if I wasn't planning on going to sleep and I was just planning on like studying, or most of the time that studying turned into a YouTube binge session. But the point is I would never go to sleep. And so I'd pull an all-nighter, and I needed I usually wouldn't need the energy drinks to pull the all-nighter. But in order to survive the morning and then survive the exam, it gives you the boost you need just long enough to survive before you hit that burnout.
I actually don't have any of what you just said. If I drink an energy drink and I was sleepy, I'll sleep. That never worked on me. Even coffee. Coffee wakes me up or helps me focus if I'm awake, but it does not make me less sleepy.
They literally raise your heart rate.
Yeah.
Hard to fall asleep.
Dude, my body does not give a rat's ass about that.
Normally,
if I'm tired, nothing stops me. I get nightmares. The sleep won't be good. If I drink coffee and go to bed, my sleep will not be peaceful. But I'll sleep. I know that much.
I know it's different for me and soda. Soda is if I Because people say the same thing. If you drink too much soda before going to sleep, you won't be able to sleep. That was never a problem for me. The energy drinks, although I did try it when I was young, so maybe if I try it
everybody
now,
tries it.
no, like maybe if I
Everybody
try
tries
it now, if I tried to go to sleep after an energy drink, maybe I could do it. But still, it's like you have that extra energy. Might as well like run a marathon while
Dude,
you have that
I've
power
tried,
in you.
I've tried 2 types of energy drinks. I tried the infamous G Fuel, right? And it's not
Use
too
my
bad.
promo code
Actually.
for 10% off.
Yes, this
checkout?
episode is sponsored by fuck. Demonetized, right?
Ni hao.
And the second drink I used, which is the one I like better because it tastes fucking amazing, is Celsius. And Celsius, its sell is that it's an energy drink, but filled with like like natural materials, no sugar, right? And it tastes bloody delicious. It doesn't wake you up as much as coffee, though. Like you'd still, make yourself an espresso in the morning and just chug that shit and feel the coffee surge into your blood as you're walking. Yeah, that's still more powerful. But what Celsius gives you is a very delicious drink.
Lewi, do you remember that guy who was fapping in your class? Hilarious. Are you that guy? Also, I don't think it's such a taboo thing to fap in class. We were all making fun of that guy and laughing. But I've done it. I can tell you that firsthand. Sometimes you just get so bored, no one's looking at you. Yeah, just be the first one out the door, go to the bathroom and wash your hands, and then you'll be fine. But yeah, I don't think I remember in high school everyone was giggling like, "Oh, we got caught," and then I don't know. And you go to college and you're like, you look around and you're like, "Oh, that guy's definitely doing it. Oh, that guy." Those people that are just way too close to their laptop screens.
We didn't have laptops generally. I'm trying to find out like what do you fap to? The professor, like
sometimes.
I mean, it depends on the professor, I guess, but
under very specific circumstances.
To me, the art was to sleep in classes. To me, that how to sleep and still pretend like you're paying attention. I sleep on the bloody front row, and what I do is I do them in bursts. I pretend like I'm gathering my thoughts or like imagining something, and I'd close my eyes, and then I'd have a legitimate nap for 10 seconds and wake up. And I don't know how many. There's a time skip. I know there's a time skip. It was only 10 seconds, but the 1 second time skip is the same as the 10-hour time skip, right? So we don't know. It's like,
dude, I have fallen asleep with my hand in my pants in class. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. And I'll be the first to tell you, there's nothing scarier than when you wake up like you just drowned, right? Like, and then you look at the clock and you realize no more than 30 seconds have passed.
Oh, yes.
But it feels like an eternity.
Dude, I slept in an exam once.
Oh, same here. Before even finishing it.
No, I finished it, right? I finished it and I wanted to get out, right? But the professor was like, no, you can only leave after half of the time has passed, right? And it was like 20 more minutes till the time that happens. It was a very easy exam, English exam. So like for us, like our English exams are nothing. It's just they're literally testing if you know how to use passive, okay? So you sit there, you're like, you know what? And I just did this. And the professor woke me up. It's like, don't you want to revise? I'm like, or, you should try. He thought I just gave up or something. And I'm like, no, I'm done. I've already solved it and revised it thrice. Leave me alone, And I just slept until I heard the seats moving, which is the implied message that it's time to go. And then I just gathered my shit and went out. I love that. I also tried to sleep in a math exam, but I just couldn't sleep. So it didn't
it's harder
work.
in a math exam. I find that the exams tend to cut closer to the time limit.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's, I gave up on the exam, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try and sleep. Because I'm not going to do any better if I keep writing. I know that I've retained the passing grade. That's all I care about. Let's try to sleep, but it didn't happen. So I ended up doodling on the paper instead.
Dude, falling. I'm not sure people realize, but you get some of the best sleep when you fall asleep in class. Have you noticed that?
Again, what?
You get some of the best sleep that you'll ever get if you fall asleep in a classroom. Have you noticed that? It's like the subject matter works in tangent with how tired you are,
yeah,
and puts
it
you to sleep
floats in your head.
ultimately.
Yeah, right. No, actually, that's why I love sleeping in cars. The fact that there's no, white noise in the background, to me really does it. That's why, when we upgraded our house and we lost the AC for a central unit, I got disappointed because there's no longer that that comes from the fucking AC, and that shit is hypnotic, man. I found apps on the phone. Okay, there are apps on the phone that are meant to simulate an AC sound because people are that desperate for that white noise.
Just look up ASMR. They have
No,
everything
fuck
under
you.
the sun.
No,
They have
I
AC.
don't use it.
Dude, if they
I
have
don't use
rain,
that.
they have wind.
Yeah, but I don't use ASMR. I don't use those apps, but I know that's how important white noise is to sleep for some people. I got used to sleeping without the noise because traditionally in winter you don't open the AC, so there are always 3 months of the year where I don't have that white noise. I got used to it. Also, I kind of despise the ASMR platform. I saw a video on Pornhub which was apparently body ASMR.
Oh, you don't even want to know how many ASMR videos are on Pornhub, bro.
And I'm like, dude, I didn't click it, but I was super confused. What does body ASMR mean? Does the lady rub her skin? Does she snap her fingers? Does she just bite next to the what does that mean? Yeah. Doesn't work. That's why I hate ASMR. Okay.
Okay. I'm convinced for those videos, it's what when movies are looking for sound effects, they find those like background noise ASMR videos and they use those, and no one will ever know. No one
right. Dude, it's like that I'm the bad guy parody by the bald fuckhead, right? And he's like he hits the couch with a pillow and it makes a sound that it actually works.
Because like that's your job as a video sound producer or editor. Yep. But like if you think about it, if you find an ASMR video on the internet and you use that as some of your background noise, who would even tell?
Yep.
No one would ever expect you to use that.
I assume that's how a voice maker deals with shit. Like, no. No. Oh, that sounds about right. Okay,
Bro, you know what? I got curious. I need to look this up. ASMR tutorial. Yep, it's a thing. Tutorial unintentional.
You need an ASMR all around phone. Sponsored code.
There's tutorials on how to make ASMR content.
There's one made by How To Basic. Be careful. It's a trap.
I'll be watching that after this.
Dude, every conceivable noise you didn't want to hear is added to that ASMR video. It's horrifying. I watched all of it too. I didn't know how I did it.
Oh, is it just like ear rape? Or does it just feel like that?
No, dude, you see all the things he does in his videos? Smashing, mushing a ton of bananas together, taking eggs, and cracking them with his hand, and then that fucking annoying thing he does. mixing things around, and you just listen to the mush and ASMR quality.
It's just a bunch of sounds that you didn't know you needed in your
Yeah.
life.
No, I did
Or you
not need
needed
that.
to hear at least once in your life.
It was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Dude, ASMR
Would
is
not
pretty
repeat.
terrifying. There are some people that
Yes,
start ASMR videos and they just smile at you.
No, I hate that. No, it's not that one that I hate the most. What I hate the most is when they're focusing, like they look like just on the camera, and it's female. It makes it even more creepy. If it's a guy, I don't think anybody would watch it.
Like
It would be that terrifying. Yeah, it would be that terrifying. So she goes, and then she smiles.
You just give me a shiver.
Exactly. It slightly gets more animated. It's fucking scary. Fucking.
It's weird. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like one of those dolls that comes to life, slowly gets human features. Like
Yes.
It's like people. I don't know.
Terrifying.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just, it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Also, I'm with you, Hassan. Styrofoam is one of my many phobias in the world. If you rub styrofoam, that's my kryptonite. I can't think, I can't see, I can't hear. My entire purpose in life becomes for me to kill you for rubbing the styrofoam together. That and the sound ice makes when it's being crunched by a teeth. I just imagined it and I fucking got a shiver. Oh God. I fucking hate that.
What sound do I hate? I don't know if there's a sound I despise. Like nails on a chalkboard, everybody hates that one though. What really don't I like?
I never got the nail on the chalkboard.
It's just irritating.
This one, mine makes no sound like that. I assume it's the more classical materials, not the whatever cheap shit I bought here.
No, speaking of like those people that just stare in a camera and smile, have you actually seen that? I believe it's a whole YouTube channel of a guy who just live streams himself, and this is a guy; it's not a girl. So I think that's what makes it even more creepier, even more creepy. There is a guy who just live streams himself, smiling and looking at the camera, and it doesn't fucking stop for 6 to 7. I know some people know this channel. I know it's out there. You can find it, but I remember watching a video, a list video. It's like the top 10 creepiest channels or something like that. And I looked it up because this one fascinated me. There's a typical, creepy channels. They do like Halloween horror stuff, but they do it year round, so they're creepy.
Yeah.
This guy, it's in the subtlety, man. He just looks at you and he just smiles.
It's tremendously terrifying. Yes. It's terrifying. It is terrifying.
And then there's another stream, and they're always live streams now. There's another stream where there's just a girl, there's a woman. It's an older woman, but she looks like a child. And she spends all day in bed, and you see her sleeping and moving around, but she never leaves the apartment. And the stream will go on for weeks on end.
Ugh. My heart shivers just hearing this. Dude, to me, I'd rather watch like people get buried by a mudslide, get stabbed to death, the Twin Towers falling, than get exposed to like.
You need to chill with those analogies, bro. But I get what you mean.
I'd rather
exposure.
Dude, imagine that the claustrophobia of it, of just watching it. That's what creeps me out. ASMR in general, it feels claustrophobic, like somebody's in your ear, just going, like no,
you're not even claustrophobic, right? I know it just feels so creepy.
Just imagine Ted Cruz and his fake.
Say no more. Like what? Ted Cruz whistling? Yeah, that's enough.
No, it has to be his his bad lip reading sound. It has to be that one. Okay? It just comes to you and it's like, hey. And you're like, I'll give you the presidency if you just fuck off. You know? I'll vote for you. Okay, you got
my
me.
left nutsack if you leave me alone.
Just leave me, forget I exist. If I make a family, do not pursue me.
Either that or like Jeb Bush just looking at a camera for 10 hours straight. And then at the end of the video, he just asks you to please clap.
No,
That's
you think Jeb Bush? I think Jeb Bush sleeps to clapping ASMR.
He certainly needs it. Helps his self-esteem.
You know, it starts slow, like, you know, just like in the movies.
Oh, yeah, that's the stuff.
You know?
That's the stuff. Oh, that's the stuff. Yeah.
When the clapping stops because the phone runs out of charge, he wakes up at night and, no, please clap.
He wakes up and that's when he starts his day, like a vampire in the middle of the night.
On that note, that is it for the stream. Thank you guys for showing up. We had 5 views this time. That's pretty good. It's the coming of a new era on YouTube. Download your shit before it goes away.
You know what else is creepy before we end this off? Just Ted Cruz is like, you know how if you look at something for too long, it becomes distorted or creepy in and of itself? I feel like just looking at a picture of Ted Cruz's face, dead on, long enough, would give you some psychiatric need for evaluation.
No, I think you know, the feminists have. There's merit to the statement. You know, he looked at me and I felt raped.
Maybe we just don't get it. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're onto something.
Yeah, I think we discovered what they mean. I think now we can feel raped too.
Okay. It was nice seeing you guys. We'll be back next time, next week, same day, same time, same place.
Same place, same everything. See you guys. Have a good one.